Hello there and welcome to this edition of the Scratch tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how to design a game like this. So it's a car game. If I hit any car that is coming, then it's going to be game over. And if I'm able to dodge the cars, then my score will increase, as you can see up there. Then the rocket that drops, if I hit any rocket, it will reduce my score. So the score reduces. Over there, see, the score reduces. If I hit the edge, it's also a game over. So if I hit the rocket, if I hit the cars, it's game over. But if I hit the rocket, it's going to be game over. So that's how the game is going to look like. Okay. So let's get started. Right, so let me just start a new project. Right, so here we are. We're going to start by getting our scratch, okay? Our sprite, sorry. So we're going to get rid of this cat here. We don't need it. Then the backstage, I'll start with the backstage, the backdrop, and then change the color. So I'll just select it and move to backdrops, and let's give it space here. Then take this fill with color, select this color here, and just drop it there. So this is how our background is going to look like. Let me see. I think this is much better. Then I need some two lines here to show the what do you call it, just to divide the road into three roads. So I'll just press the shift and drag to draw. Same to the other side, drag to draw. Alright, then I'm going to duplicate my backdrop into two. The second one, I'm going to call it game over. So game over. Alright, so I'm going back to there. So with the game over, I will just type a text inside it. Let me use a red color, and then I'll click inside and type game over. Okay. Right, so I'll just make it a little bit bigger. So just drag here. So when it's game over, this is what we're going to see. Right, so that is the backdrop there. But I'm going back to the backdrop one, so that's the main backdrop. Okay, so this is how our road is going to look like. Now the next thing is that I'm going to get some borders at the edges of this. So I will just draw a sprite by clicking on this, and let's get some space. So I'll take the rectangle, I'll use a green color, and then click to draw a border. Sorry, I'm going to take a thick rectangle. So let's click on this, switch back, this one, click to draw this, and then I can do the same thing here. Alright, so I have two borders here. Then I'll just change the name of this sprite here to border, and back again. So we have our sprite there. The next sprite that we're going to bring is we are going to draw the racer, okay, the car that will start dodging the incoming car. So I will just go and draw it. Take the brush, get the space. Okay, so I'm going to use this rectangle. I'm going to make my car look, use this color, make it brighter. So this color, and I'll use this. And let's get the center of this. So I'll just click and drag to draw something like this. So that's the borders of the car, and then and use this thick one here, and then put it in the center, something like this. Then I need the wheel, so I'll just change the color and then get the wheels here. And to make sure that they are all the same, I'll just Control C to copy, Control V to paste it. So I'll paste it again here. and paste. Okay, so we've now created this one. Okay, so that will make it so we now have the car, the racer. I'll call it a racer, and from here I'm going to make a copy of this, duplicate it, so add another one. So I need 3 of them. The first one, I'm going to select it with the hand, select like this, and rotate to face the right hand side. Then the second one, with the hand, I'll select it and rotate it to face this side. So this is this costume, I'm going to call it up. This one I'll call it right, and that one I'll call it left. Okay, so that is, then I'll select this. So that is the costume for the racer, so I'll just place it here. Okay, then I'll need a car that will be like the crusher, the car that will crush it. So let me just rename this to racer. So the car that will crash it, if I want, I can redraw this one again, another car here, or I can use this to edit it. So let's just draw one so that you get to know how to do the drawing. You take this rectangle, I'll make it black color. So I'll start with this, then I'll draw it this way. Okay, make sure it's nice. Then same color, I'll just draw the middle one, and the wheels, just to make it look a little bit different, I'll use this to represent the wheels. I think this color here will be okay. So I'll copy and paste. So for this car, I don't need to twist it around, so I'll just call this one the crusher. Right, so let's get back. So this will be the crusher, that will be here, my racer will be here, and my crusher will be here. The final, there's going to be 2 more, but let's start with these 2. I'll add one crusher, that's the rock. So I'll go to let me just get it from this, click on here to get the final sprite. So I'll go to space, okay, so this is our spaceship. I'll select it and select OK. Alright, so I'm going to the costumes of this spaceship here, and then I'll take the second one out. Then the other one, I'm rotating it this way so that it will face downwards, and I think that is it. So we'll go back to script. So these are the costumes. The other costume that I need is, I'll be using this crusher to design that. So when I'm done with the code for the crusher, I will use it to create the other costume, the other sprite. The sprite is just going to be like a speed effect as the cars are moving, just to show some speed effects. Okay, so that will do for this video. See you in the next video. Hello and welcome back to this Crash 2 tutorial. in the first video we were able to bring our sprites, our border, our razor, our crusher, and the spaceship. And as I told you, we'll be adding one more sprite. So in this video we are going to start with the coding. Okay, so the first code that we're going to start is the backdrop, the stage 2 backdrop. So when we start the game, I'll go to events. When we start the game, I want to set my score, so I'll click on make a variable and type score. So I want my score to be set to 0. Okay, and then we loop it, so that will take forever from control, and it will wait for 1 second, then the score will start changing by 1. So let's take a look at that. So when I click on the flag, the score will start changing, as you can see there. Alright, so this game, the score will keep increasing as long as the racer remains alive. Let's put it that way. Okay, so the next code is on the borders. If you look at it, the borders are scrambled out. Okay, I need both to be on these edges. So when we start the game, okay, when we start the game, I want the borders to be on these positions 0, 0, and then it should go back 1 layer. So let's check that out. So we click this, so you see the borders are here. So we now have that set. Our next code is going to be on the crusher. Okay, so we look at the crusher. Now here's what we're going to do. When we start the game, then we want to hide the crusher, and then let's see the size. Let me see the size. Okay, you can reduce the size to probably, let's make it 60%. Okay, so I'll reduce the size to 60%, and then I'll loop something here, so I'll put forever. Now it will start creating clone of itself, but it will be hiding underground, behind the scene, and then whilst there it will wait 1 second. So when we start, it will hide, then it will then start as a clone. When it starts as a clone, when it pops up as a clone, we want it to go back 1 layers and then appear, show. Then it will start moving to random positions. So go to random positions here. To start going to random positions, and then it will be moving from the top down. So this will be y-axis and this is x-axis. So for the y-axis here is 180, so we set that to 180. So set y to 180, and then we set the x. For the x, it is going to be moving from left to right, but at the top there, so we'll pick random. So pick random -190 to 190. Okay, then we will loop something here, so I'll use forever, so this will be continuous. Now the cars will start dropping, so it will change the y because we want it to go down, so it should go to the negative of the y. So I'll drop it by 8. Okay, so change y by 8. If you increase it to 9, 10 onwards, then the speed will increase. It will drop the speed will be high. So I think 8 is okay for me. You can decide to change it in any speed at all that you think is good for you. Then we look at a condition here. Now, if it drops such that motion, the y position here is less than -170, that is at this range. When it is less than -170, which is around this side, we want to get rid of it. Okay, so to get rid of it, go to control and then you select delete this clone. So delete this clone. So let's take a look at it. So if I click, see it's dropping. When it gets down, it vanishes, like over there. As you can see, it is vanishing. Okay, so let's stop that. Now, earlier on I said that we're going to get another sprite, and we will do it after we get the code from the crusher. So I'm just going to stop here. I'll come back and add up some code to this crusher, but I need this code to create the other sprite. So I'll just right click here and duplicate it. Then that's the crusher 2. I'll change the name here, and I'll call it speed effect. Just call it speed, is okay. So speed. Then I'll go to the costumes, and then I'm getting rid of this one. So I'll take this and select it, and then delete it. Then I'll use a brush. I need a white color, and the thickness shouldn't be that much. So you just need the center, which is around here, and just draw something here. So I've just drawn something. As you can see, this is what I just did. Okay, don't need much of it. So let's try that again and see what will happen. You can see the speed effect here. This is too deep, but you can make it lighter than this one. So I think that is all for the speed effect. So we're done with this and that. The next code is on. We're going back to the crusher to complete the code. So like I said, we need to add more codes from here. So, and that is a sound effect. So I'll go to event. So when we start the game, we're going to play some sound. So I'll put forever here. Then go to sound, and then so that it will show play until. Then I'll go to sound and search for the sounds. I need something like car passing here. Select it. Then we go back there and change it to car passing. So let's start it again and see. We have to hear the sound of a car passing. As you can hear that. Right. So this will continue so long as the car keep moving or the game keep running. The next thing is that we are going to give a signal to the spaceship to also start moving up and down. Okay, so I'll just select this. When clicked, okay, we will loop it here forever, and then you wait, and then broadcast a message. So go to event, broadcast a message, and the message will be maybe rocket. Okay, and then it will play a sound too. So let's play a sound. I can just say play a sound. It doesn't matter, let's pick any of them. Let's go and get the sound here. I need an alien crash. Let me see. Okay, so I will use this one. I think that is okay. Alien crash 1. So let's go back to the script and change it to alien click 1. Okay, so that is the code for the crasher. So when we start, you'll hear that. So whenever the sound comes, it means the alien or the rocket will start. So let's code the rocket. All right. So with the rocket, when we start the game, okay, I will say if you observe here, a signal was sent. So the rocket will start by saying when I receive rocket, right? When I receive rocket, then what will happen? So in this one, when I receive rocket, because a signal was sent to it, it will, but first of all, let's do this. When we click, I want us to hide it. I want to hide it, and then we will let's edit a spaceship. Let's go to the costumes here. I'm going to add some effects to it. I'll call this one rocket. Then I'll add more sprites. So I have downloaded some explosion effects. It's on the desktop here, I think so. Explosions here. Okay, so I need all of these explosions here. So I'll just open them. Then it will be good to rearrange them. Okay, so they have names. We have explosion 1, it should be the first. Explosion 4 should come here. Explosion 7, 8, 2 should go to the top. Explosion 1, 5 should come down here, and then 2 should go to the second. So 1, explosion 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and 8. So I'll start with the rocket. So let's go back to the script. So we will then switch the costume. So the beginning of it, it should be on this. So switch costume to this rocket. All right, now when it starts as a clone, it should rather show now so that we can see it. Okay, and then start also moving at random position. So go to mouse pointer, I'll change it to random position, and then see, I'll set the y-axis to y-et. I'll also set the x to a random numbers. So here, like we did earlier on the Crasher, we just put operators a random here. So it will be -190 to 190. Okay, so I have this here. Right, now what we do is we're going to loop some conditions here. So I'll put forever here, and now it will also start dropping. So we change the y by a negative number. Now when we're doing the Crasher, we change it to -8. Now I told you the more we increase the number, the higher the speed. So I want that one to be faster than the other one, the car Crasher. So I'm making it -10. Okay, then now we put a condition here. Okay, now and then put repeat inside this. So the condition here is that if it touches the racer, okay, if it touches the racer, let me make this one, let me make it 8. Yes, I'm making it 8 because I have these 8 explosion effects here, so that's why I'm making it 8. Can make it 9. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I think 8 is okay for me. Then I'll go to looks and say next costume. So the explosion effect will start changing. If it does that way, if it touches it, then our score will reduce the score. So change it by a -1. Alright, so that is it. Okay, I want to use this condition here. Just replace it with these things. It's good. So if it does this, then it will do. Else, if it doesn't, then the costume should remain the same thing. Okay, switch costume to, it should be on the rocket. If it touches it, it should explode and change and reduce the score. But if it hasn't touched, that's the else, it should remain as the rocket. Okay, right? Then we need another condition here, so I'll put this down here. Now if it reaches, if the y position is less than negative 170 like we did for the other one, then we will just delete it off. We don't need it, it should just vanish. We'll delete this group. Alright, so let's give it a spin again. So I'll just start this. So as you can see, so it has touched it, and you see the explosion. It will touch it and you can see the explosion. Right, so that is the effect. However, and you can see that's reduced it to negative. Okay, we'll work on that. Let's get back to complete this code again. Now with the negative effect there, we don't need it. And one thing, you see that it is too big, so I can just go back to looks and set size. I'll reduce the size to 50%. Then we'll come back here and put another condition. Okay, so I'll just duplicate this and put it down here. Now I'm taking this out and I'm putting the score inside. Okay, then here what I'm saying is, if the score is 0, then it shouldn't move to negative. In other words, it should just stop all. So that is it. So if the score is negative, it will stop. Okay, let's take a look at that again. So the score is increasing, but as long as it touches this, it will explode and the score it, so it stops it. Okay, that's it. Okay, but one thing we need to add here is that if it stops it, then we should see something like game over. So I'll go here and take switch backdrop. I'll just put it at the top here, switch backdrop to game over. So let's take a look at that. So game over. All right, so that is it for the space, what do you call the spaceship. Right, so let's go back and finish up our code. Let's go back and finish up our code. Let me switch this thing back. All right, so I think this will do for this video. We'll do that of the eraser in the next video, so stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we are going to do our final code for the eraser. So let's get started with the eraser. All right, now when we start the game with the eraser, we can set up the size of the eraser. Okay, but I want us to look at something about the backdrop here. When we start, we want to switch the backdrop to backdrop 1, and then we will switch the costume. Switch costume, the costume of the car. Let me just go in there. You can see we have up, left, right and left, so it should stay on what? Up. And then I will just let it go back 1 layer so that it will be in contact with the other sprite. Then go to random positions. No, it shouldn't go to random positions. I will just, let me set it up. So when I do this, take a look at this, go to XY. So I just want it to be in a certain position for me. So let me see this. If this is the center for me, that's the figure there. So I'll just go to XY. So This is it. I will not change this figures here. Then I'll loop a condition here. Right now, the condition is if we go to sense operators, put the OR here. If it touches, let me put it here before I bring it in. If the car touches the border, or if it touches the, what do you call it, the race, the crusher, if it touches it, then we're going to switch the costume, the backdrop, to game over, and then we just stop the game from there. So whenever it touches these things, that is all. It's going to be game over. However, when another set of code is that we're going to set a code that will help us to dodge. So forever, then I'll put if else then here. Now we're going to look at a key that we'll be pressing. So we start with the right arrow. If the right arrow is pressed, our our costume should change to right, and then we'll be moving some few steps, so I'll just make it 5. Else, if that is not pressed, our car should face up. Our final condition, I'll just take this one here and watch this. I'm just duplicating this and fixing it inside, so this will be left, and I'm duplicating this here, and this will also be left, but this is negative because the x and y axis, the right hand side is positive and the left hand side is negative, so I'm going to make it -5. Alright, so this is how this is all the coding for this part and the end of the code for this game. Let's take a spin and see how it works. So as you can see, I'm moving left and right. Now, if I touch the rocket, then my score will reduce. So as you can see, it is reducing to negative and it's game over. Let's go right here. And when it hits the car, it's game over. If it hits the border, also is game over. Now let's try and see. Good. Okay, let me just add something here on the spaceship. Let's go here. I need a sound somewhere where it touches this. I need to play some sound. Play sound. Let me just put it here. If it touches it, let's see. Yeah. So go to sound. Sound. Let's see what sound can we take when it touches it. So we just hear some. Let me get effects and see what sound I can use. Let me see. Wow. No. Let's see. Rattle, repose, snap. Oh. Very good. Bubbles. I think this is okay. We'll use that. Let's go there and take chunk. So let's go back. If it touches it, I want to hear that sound. Let's start it. Space. Yeah, that's good. I think that looks okay. So let's see. Yeah. folks, that is it for this game. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and leave a comment below. Take care and bye for now.